Alright Canon, it's about time you're ready to drop the R6 Mark III. And from what we're hearing, it sounds like this one's going to seriously shake things up. We've got some exciting rumors and, no surprise here, the display is the main headline this time. If these leaks are on point, and let's be honest, they're usually pretty close, Canon's finally giving us that display upgrade we've all been waiting for. So what's the deal with the screen? Well, word on the street is that the R6 Mark III is going to take a page out of Sony's playbook, specifically the A7R5. If you've seen that display, you know what I'm talking about. It's a game changer. We're talking a screen that can both tilt and fully articulate, perfect for those tricky low angles, or if you're trying to vlog with that front-facing camera. Canon users, this is what you've been asking for, and it looks like Canon's finally delivering. But here's the kicker. It's not just about how the screen moves. We're hearing Canon's going OLED for the R6 Mark III. That's right, OLED. If you've used an OLED screen before, you know the deal. Richer colors, deeper blacks, and overall better contrast. Canon's been sticking with LCDs for a while now. But this move to OLED, it's going to make everything look a whole lot more vibrant. If you're out in the field or shooting video where color accuracy matters, this upgrade alone might be enough to make you seriously consider upgrading. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, of course. While we're getting a massive screen upgrade, the electronic viewfinder might not be getting the same treatment. The rumors suggest we won't see eye-tracking tech in the R6 Mark III, something you'd find in the higher-end models like the R3 and R5. Canon's probably holding back on that to keep the price down, which makes sense. You'll still get a solid EVF, but don't expect all the fancy extras here. But you know what? That OLED screen alone might make up for it, especially if you're someone who spends a lot of time shooting video or working in environments where accurate color really matters. It's a big leap forward for Canon's mid-range cameras. Now let's shift gears a bit. There's more to the R6 Mark III than just the display, obviously. Canon's bumping up the resolution slightly, giving us a new 24-megapixel sensor. It's not a massive jump, but it's enough to notice if you're the kind of person who likes to capture a little more detail. Plus, with Canon's processor working together with their image stabilization, this new sensor should do better in low-light situations. Speaking of image stabilization, Canon isn't changing much here from the R6 Mark II, and honestly that's fine, it didn't need much fixing. The 8.5 stops of stabilization were already some of the best out there. Whether you're shooting handheld or moving around with your camera, this thing's going to keep your footage smooth. So yeah, no complaints there. Autofocus. Now we're talking. Canon's borrowing the autofocus system from the EOS R5 II, which is good news. It's fast, it's accurate, and it tracks like a dream. Sure, it won't have that crazy eye-tracking tech we mentioned earlier, but for most of what you're shooting, you're not going to notice. It's just going to work, and that's what matters. Oh, and if you're into action photography, get this. 30 frames per second in 14-bit RAW with the electronic shutter. Yeah, you heard me. This camera is going to be a beast when it comes to fast-moving subjects. And with a readout speed of 1/180th of a second, say goodbye to rolling shutter issues. No more wobbly shots when you're panning too fast. Nobody wants their footage looking like it's from a funhouse mirror, right? There's some new tech magic happening too. Canon's throwing in this thing called in-camera neural network noise reduction. Sounds fancy, huh? Basically, it means your images are going to have less noise, especially when you're cranking up the ISO in low light. This could be a game changer if you're into night photography or find yourself in tricky lighting situations often. And if you're into video, Canon's not holding back. We're talking C4K at 120 frames per second in Super 35 mode, 6K 30pe, and 4K 60p cinema raw light recording. Whether you're vlogging, shooting documentaries, or need a reliable B-cam for your professional setup, this camera's got you covered. Plus, there are some small but important quality of life upgrades, like a full-size HDMI port. No more fiddling with those tiny micro HDMI ports that always feel like they're going to snap. And they're adding a CF Express card slot alongside the SD card slot, which means faster write speeds for all those big, high-res files. That's a nice touch for anyone who's working with 4K or 6K footage regularly. So what's the takeaway here? The Canon R6 Mark III is shaping up to be an impressive upgrade that could turn heads in the world of mirrorless cameras. Canon has really taken into account the needs of both photo and video shooters with this model. and the OLED display is clearly the star of the show. It's an upgrade that'll significantly improve your shooting experience, offering vibrant, accurate colors and full articulation for versatility in a variety of angles. Whether you're a vlogger who needs that front-facing camera or a photographer shooting at low or high angles, this display is going to be a game changer. But the display isn't the only thing that stands out. This camera brings a host of other improvements that elevate its performance. Let's talk about the faster burst shooting, which will make it a dream for action photographers. The ability to shoot up to 30 frames per second with the 14-bit RAW format is an absolute treat for anyone who needs to capture fast-moving subjects. Add in the super-fast autofocus from the R5 II, and you've got a camera that can keep up with pretty much anything you throw at it, from sports to wildlife to everyday action shots. Canon's also added smarter I/O, such as the inclusion of a CF Express card slot alongside the SD card slot. This means faster write speeds for all those big files, especially when you're shooting in 6K or 4K. That's a welcome improvement for professionals, or anyone who needs to shoot at higher resolutions regularly. Plus, the 8.5 stops of image stabilization that made the R6 Mark II such a standout are sticking around, meaning you can expect incredibly smooth footage, even in low light or handheld shooting situations. Now, if you already own the R6 Mark II, this upgrade might not feel like an absolute necessity, depending on your needs. Sure, the OLED screen and some of the other improvements might entice you, but if you're happy with your current setup, you might not find it to be a massive leap forward. However, if you're coming from an older model like the original R6 or even something as old as the 6D, this is going to feel like a monumental upgrade. The R6 Mark III brings new tech, better performance, and improved features that will drastically change the way you shoot. At the expected price point of around $2,500 to $2,800, it's a solid deal for what you're getting. You're looking at a camera that combines high-end features with mid-range pricing, a great option for those who want to step up their photography and videography game without breaking the bank. And let's not forget that Canon has a reputation for making reliable, user-friendly cameras that deliver high-quality results across the board. Canon has definitely played it smart here by giving us enough new features to get excited about without overloading the camera with unnecessary specs. It's clear that the R6 Mark III is designed to meet the needs of a wide range of users, from hobbyists and enthusiasts to those dipping their toes into professional work. If the rumors turn out to be true, the R6 Mark III could become a crowd pleaser, particularly for video shooters and photographers who need a flexible, powerful camera, but don't want to dive into the full pro-level gear just yet. So, if you're in the market for a new camera or considering an upgrade, keep your eyes peeled for that official announcement. It could come sooner than we think. And once it drops, it might be hard to resist making the switch to the Canon R6 Mark III. Whether you're upgrading from an older model or jumping into the Canon world for the first time, it's definitely shaping up to be a camera that delivers outstanding value for your money. That's everything we know about the R6 Mark III so far. And what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates when the camera is officially revealed.